where the game is. Sri Lanka are now 279 runs stand for a lot about battles. Amir Sohail.
How are you doing?
Good, Amir. Talk about the battle ahead, particularly. First, let's talk about Dhananjay. I think it's nothing but fair that we just talk about him a bit and the way he's batted.
I think he's grown in stature as a batsman with that innings of substance. Let me tell you, he's a busy player. He always looked for runs, but he occupied the crease. He absorbed the pressure. And then, when, with his effort, he took his team to a safety zone, and now they can really push hard for those 12 runs in this Test Championship.
In your opinion,
12 points.
Yeah, you did see the Sri Lankan batsman getting out. Pathum Nissanka did get runs, but the rest really didn't do too well. What do you think he did differently, Dhananjay, on this pitch?
I think he played the ball late. Initially, when he arrived at the crease, he was looking to decipher what the bowlers are looking to do. Once he was assured of his footwork and his timing, he started to take on the bowlers. It was just occupying the crease.
Right, now that is Amir Sohail's view about what he did differently. So we thought that Dhananjay himself should tell us what he did and how he felt on this pitch. Fazil Mohammed spoke to him just a little while earlier.
Dhananjaya, congratulations on an excellent test innings, your 8th test match century. Was that your best knock?
I had few ones, but yeah, it's maybe the best one.
When you look in your mind with the situation when Embledenia joined you at the crease, what was in your mind?
Yeah, I was thinking about, firstly, we have to be in the safe zone, so I need to bat more overs. So me and Embledenia was talking about overs, not the runs. But then the games goes on, I think the batting was easier for me and Embledenia. Then we got the runs.
How would you describe how the pitch is playing?
It's still good, still good. Some odd balls are turning, not the every ball, but some are turning, but it's very helpful for the spinners, I think, now.
So tell us, what's the plan? Keep on batting or a declaration?
I don't know about that. That's the coach and captain's plan. They'll let us know in a moment.
And do you enjoy playing against the West Indies? It seems that Joshua De Silva, the wicketkeeper, has a lot to say to you and you have a lot to say to him.
Nah, they are very friendly banters, you know. Jason, Joshua, they are very friendly guys, so I think it's good to have that in the field. So we have to be focused on that.
And Test cricket, these are 2 Test matches. Sri Lanka haven't played a lot of Test cricket this year. How are you enjoying your game in Test cricket?
You know, I think it's the best format for me. I'm really enjoying when the white kid on me. So I think, you know, the guys in the dressing room also backing me up in the Test matches. So I think, yeah.
And the position that you bat, do you enjoy that position? Do you feel the pressure when early wickets are down and you have to come to the middle?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we all have to be in pressure to make runs as batsmen. So I think I'm enjoying the pressure. So pressure makes me to make runs.
And indeed, you're doing very well at the moment, Dhananjaya. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you very much.
And no doubt he has been doing very well. But Amir, I think nothing but fair that we also refer to Embledenia, that partnership. I mean, Sri Lanka was in the spot of bother at that time.
I think he played very well. The best thing Embledenia did while batting was he didn't go towards the ball. He was allowing the ball to come to him, and he was only looking to defend the stumps. He seldom played the balls which were pitched outside the off stump. He shaped to defend the stumps, but he never went after the ball. So that partnership actually gave the control of the game to the Sri Lankans.
Actually, there was one time that he went after the ball when he hit it for a 6, but that's all right. He was perfectly safe. Right, now the big question is, how has the pitch progressed or deteriorated? Now, this is going to be a factor when Sri Lanka looks at declaring or deciding to bat, whatever they want to do. So H.D. Ackerman took a close look, and let's listen to him and his thoughts on the pitch.
So at some stage this morning, Sri Lanka will either get bowled out or they're going to declare, and then they'll need to get series 1-1. Bowling on here has been very interesting because it doesn't really look like a 5-day pitch at the moment. And the reason behind that is we haven't seen a lot of seam bowling on it. If we just look at these foot marks that are over here, these have been created by the spinners in the game. Now, they're too full to have an impact on how the batter plays. Normally, there's foot marks around about here, this area here, and that is where the seamers make the foot marks, and balls spit and they bounce out of here, and it makes batting on day 5 very, very difficult. However, batting hasn't been impossible here. Dhananjaya De Silva played absolutely beautifully yesterday for his 150. And what he did so effectively is how he played deep in his crease when the ball was not that quite short, but it lacked a little bit of pace and he was able to get the ball away. And then he got a big stride in when it was just slightly over-pitched. But he looked to score, and that was the key of his innings, was looking to score rather than looking to survive. It could prove to be a match-winning innings. Just lastly, I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Sri Lanka have a little bit of a bat here this morning. Not because they want the more runs, but because they might want to use the heavy roller, because it could just break this surface up a little bit more.
ජයග්‍රාහී එකතු වෙන්නේ ඉදිරියට යන දරුවන්ගේ පෝෂණයට. අම්මලා විශ්වාසයෙන් එකතු කරන්නේ මයිලෝ.
ඉලක්ක හඹා යන ශක්තියෙන් ඉදිරියටම. අභියෝග හමුවේ ප්‍රතිශක්තිය රැකගෙන ඉදිරියටම.
විසඳුම් කරා ඉක්මන් නුවණින් ඉදිරියටම.
සවිමත් අස්ථි සහ මාංශ පේශී වලින් ඉදිරියටම.
මේ ජයග්‍රාහී එකතුවෙන් ඉදිරියටම යන දරුවන්ගේ උදෑසන පෝෂණයට අම්මලා විශ්වාසයෙන් එකතු කරන්නේ මයිලෝ.
මයිලෝ සමග පෝෂණයෙන් ඉදිරියට.
From Nestle.
Surface up a little bit more.
Right now is bowling on it, and also no foot mark. So what do you reckon? You think Sri Lanka should declare early or bat a little bit longer?
They should, because if you had seen the last 3 overs bowled by the West Indian bowlers on day 4, the ball started to respond. Every ball Roshan Chase delivered, it was turning and it was bouncing. So that was a good sign for the Sri Lankan spinners. And I think they have a huge chance of getting 12 points at this Test Championship.
Right, so that's Amir Sohail's thinking about the way forward. So you reckon a quick declaration, is it?
Should be. Should be. They have to give more and more overs to the bowlers.
Right, so let's see how many overs the Sri Lankans are prepared to give their bowlers. But at the moment, Dhananjaya De Silva and Lasith Tambuldenia are ready to come out and bat. The West Indian team is also congregating just outside the boundary for their familiar huddle now. The umpires are out there. And let's go across and join our first commentators as play is about to begin.
Very different conditions as we welcome you to the actual start of play. Brilliant sunshine in stark contrast to what we had at the start of the Test match when there was a lot of rain. We lost so much play over the first couple of days, but the game has advanced so much in the time available to here at the Goal International Stadium, and the overnight pair of Dhananjaya roller making these fans expecting their team to press home for victory to take the series 2-0. But all the possibilities will remain open in the early stages. Parvez Maharouf, it's really an interesting prospect, an intriguing prospect on this final day of the series.
Good morning, Fazil. Good morning to all our viewers. Yes, I think all 3 results are still possible. Could be this morning, Sri Lanka bat a few overs, get those quick runs, and at least get new ball can be taken. Then in case second ball, new ball is taken, you got 10 more overs with more spin to attack.
Going to be the West Indies' most successful bowler in this Test match. Veerasammy Permaul, his first Test match, 6.5 years, making the most of the opportunity. This will be the final Test match for the West Indies until March when they host England for 3 matches. Another excellent day weather-wise. The lead at the moment, 279. How many more can they get, or will they want to get? Is it an issue of runs, or just allowing for a bit more wear of the pitch with the roller having been used? Described as a heavy roller. Clearly, the heavy roller is on a diet here in Sri Lanka from what we saw. Tambuldenia to take strike. And he's looking forward to a day in the field, the Sri Lankan captain.
Straight away runs. Lasith Tambuldenia whipping towards square leg. I think maybe a psychological effect of getting the 300 runs lead to be mine. Captain of Sri Lanka, Dimut Karunaratne. As you mentioned, the heavy roller. I've seen much more bigger, to be honest. But they say 750 kgs, so must be heavy. very fair for Permont. Deep mid wicket, a deep square leg and a long on. Straight away, Craig Brathwaite on the defensive.
No, you tell me, Maha. Okay, I'm supposed to assume that the one on the right is the heavy one. So if that is the heavy one,
Yes, Gunner boy. Let's start, Gunner. Start, Gunner.
what's the light roller? Tin can?
Quick run, very good batting. Naranja De Silva off the mark this morning. Very inquired, was told 400. This was this morning, which ST mentioned about the heavy roller being used by Sri Lanka, giving some opportunity for you to break up more.
Now, if that is a heavy roller, then some of the rollers that are used in other parts of really, it's only a matter of time before the declaration comes. Clearing mid off. Didn't middle it as well as he wanted, but should be able to get 4. He will.
Against the turn this time, Nasid Ambuldania coming down the track. Jason Holder for a second. Did have a go at it, but cleanly strike, clean enough to get another boundary. Nasid Ambuldania batting really well, giving able support yesterday. Now, chancing his arms, quick runs, just what the doctor ordered for Sri Lanka.
And maybe a little milestone here as well. 6 more for a record partnership. 334 for 8.
Lead by 285 runs, Sri Lanka. Naranja De Silva, fantastic. Now, seen many this morning. Mentioned one of his best yet.
An excellent innings by Dhananjaya De Silva. His first against the West Indies. He scored test match hundreds against 7 nations now. Jao Vikrama, last man in the order. His primary objective today will be to get wickets, I'm sure. Left arm spinner, 1 of 4 in this test match. 2 for either team.
Checking no ball, Kumar Dharmasena screams. It's a no ball to start the day by Kumar Roach. Seeing go. 300 mark, psychology effect is on the cards. 4 more runs to break the record for the 9th wicket partnership, which was held by Tilan Samaravira and Ajantha Mendis against India some time ago.
Well, the fact that the West Indies have gone with one of their faster bowlers from one end won't have the Sri Lankans too disappointed. Big swing, because based on what we saw from H.D. Ackerman and his assessment of the conditions, it almost looks a first day pitch, because there has been very little fast bowling activity with follow throughs and all of that to scuff up the surface. Has held together very well. Not seeing the level of wear and tear that you almost take for granted, just generally in the area where
Beaten. Off cut at that time by Kumar Roach. Then he trying to go big, trying to go over mid off. And done by the dip. Oh, very, very close. Kumar Roach, very unlucky there. That's good stuff by Kumar. Have much to bowl in this test match. You all know what's capable of long standing fast bowler for West.
big swing, and that will take them to the record. Best ever partnership in test match cricket for the 9th wicket for Sri Lanka. Even as they are minutes away, we anticipate from a declaration.
What a way to bring the new record. Lasit Tambuldenia swatting it over mid-wicket, mid-on, front of mid-wicket, over mid-on. What a shot, Lasit Tambuldenia.
Finding that gap. Kyle Mayers with the desperate effort almost went away for 4, and he might have done himself an injury as he turned his ankle. He's had some issues with one of those ankles. Let's hope it's not the one that had surgery not so long ago. There's a huge gap between that slip and the keeper.
Deliberately played by Tambuldenia, putting the face, finding that gap between Joshua and Jason Holder. Over the wicket this time, Kemar Roach.
Just seemed to turn that left ankle, Kyle Mayers, in attempting to make that save. Look at it again here. Not at this point, spikes stick in the turf. Over. 343 for 8.
World record 2010, been 11 years, Dhananjay Silva and Tambuldenia renewing it. Remember Ajanta Mendes and Thilan Samaravira, I think, if my memory is right, was Pisara over. And very well batted by these two youngsters to bring Sri Lanka into the place that there they are.
Confirmation of this record partnership started just after tea yesterday. The West Indies were hoping that they could have finished off the lower part of the Sri Lankan order. That hasn't happened. They've been held up yet again.
Dilhar Jayasuriya partnership in Pakistan. I was a 12th man for it. 101 for the 9th wicket. I remember right, Sanat out of 101 scored 100. Dilhar just scored 1. My memory is correct. I think it was spoken before as well. A fantastic knock. Then
More seam bowling. He keeps pacing up and down in that Dimuth Karanaratna. It's almost sensing that the declaration is not too far away from now.
field been set 6 feet in the offside. Just think. Sure, Jason will be targeting the slow ball again. Only for a second run. That's good running. Very good running. Slight miscommunication between Kemar Roach and Pemal, resulting in a couple of runs for Sri Lanka. Handy runs.
Yeah, it looked as if at one point they were going to leave it for each other. Changing his line, going around the wicket now. Lead is 296. Maybe they just want the psychology of a lead of 300. Really doesn't set a target of 300 plus. Feels more imposing to the opposition.
Fuller. 300 run mark is what Sri Lankan think tank. Slip fielder dropping down. Third man now. Defensive, there you go. Perfect Yorker. Jason.
Well, Tambuldenia is 2 runs away from a test best. Previous best being 40. Well, he's not going to get it. A wicket for Jason Holder. The first wicket in the test match that has fallen to one of the seamers. And with that dismissal, he's decided that he's had enough runs on the board. Dimuth Karanaratne making the declaration at 3:45 for 9, which means the West Indies have been set a target of 297 or to bat over 90 overs to save the test match.
That's an important contribution. On the 39 of 124 deliveries, Sri Lanka declaring at 345 for 9.
He's had to work hard for a wicket. And let's see which roller is coming out now. Well, I'm being told this is the light roller. This is the lighter roller. Because that other one really is the heavy roller. And interestingly, there are more people pulling the lighter roller than were pulling the heavy roller. But whichever way it is, the facts of the matter suggest that Sri Lanka at this point will feel that they've left themselves with enough overs. Their batsmen have done the job, especially that fantastic innings from Dhananjaya De Silva, anchoring the innings with an unbeaten 155 and a record partnership with Embledenia.
Bowling for West Indies, Permal chase, pick up the bowlers for me, top 3 and 2, then Holder this morning, getting it off Lasit Embledenia. Craig Brathwaite picked up a wicket, plenty of bowling, the West Indies.
So on this last day of the series, here where we are, the West Indies about to get ready for the final innings of this contest. They trail by 1-0. Can they get anywhere close to 297? Sri Lanka, they'll need to take 10 wickets to seal the series and pick up 12 more points. We'll take a short break and then we'll come back for the start of the West Indies innings.
these Sri Lankan bowlers, I wouldn't say off their length, but at least to get rid of the close fielders, just try and let the Sri Lankan captain thinking a little bit.
You know, I'm with you. I hear you what you're saying, but you have to give credit. Sri Lankan captain and the bowler, they have kept it tight. You know, Bonner did try take the bowlers on by employing that sweep throw, came down the track as well, but nothing loose. Nothing he could convert into a scoring opportunity. For the moment, they're on the right track. See, whenever they get an opportunity to hit the ball, they have. Is it off the shoe? He's going to ask his partner, did he see it happening? Or should we go to the third umpire?
Spare a thought for Oshada Fernando. Again in the firing line. Off signal is not out, so let's see.
TV umpire to director, we have a umpire referral for bump ball. The soft signal is not out and it's a fair delivery. Can you start with front or spin vision, please? Okay, the ball has come off the bat. Clearly bounced before the fielder. The bounce has clearly been grounded. I have a decision for the giant screen.
Just in time, but if you are going at the ball, there's always that encouragement for the bowler.
Could whip apart a team. As a Tamil, we've seen that before. Yashodhan Karunaratne wants his main strike bowler to be more consistent.
Six runs from the over, 92 for 2.
Fighting hard in the hard yards. Kumar Bonner, Shea Hope at the moment. So batting to follow as well. It's one of those wickets. If one goes, 2, 3 is possible. So Sri Lanka got to be fighting hard.
31 wickets so far in this test match, just one to a seamer. That was Jason Holder, the last wicket of the Sri Lankan innings. That prompted the declaration. Record 9th wicket partnership between Dhananjaya De Silva and Lasith Embuldenia. Still no sign of Suranga Lakmal. I was suggesting I might have given him the new ball just for a couple of overs to see what was in the offing, and now with the change of ball, you never know.
And also change the pace of the game. It's been 43 overs of spin. Definitely make a little difference. The fast bowler coming in, batsmen will have to readjust their technique. Shot this time. Oh, straight to Suranga Lakmal. Just spoke about the man. What a good catch.
Likes to go for shots, but the reason his numbers are so ordinary, it's sometimes like this. Poor shot selection. Short, picked out the lone man. They had forward scare right into the midriff. Another wicket for Ramesh Mendis. He's been the star for Sri Lanka with the ball in this series. The West Indies lose another important wicket. Shea Hope gone for 16, 92 for 3.